Welcome to sportsbookreview.com. I'm Flash, and it's La Liga. It's week 25, and this is fast becoming the best football show, soccer show on SBR. If you remember, about 6 weeks ago, we were minus 25 units down. Now we're at near enough parity. That's 25 units of profit. Little one of these for myself because I took the ball by the horns. Parlay last week, plus 250. It was Sevilla and Sociedad. Bang, bang. Take your money and run. But first of all, if you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button and ring the bell. Ring the bell means I'll notify you. You'll never miss any content again. And that's a bonus for you because we've got Serie A, 8:30 Eastern time on Monday morning. No European football next week, as in the Champions League or Europa League. But we will be back next Thursday with Serie A, Bundesliga, Premier League, and again, La Liga. Just so you know, 3 weeks' time, there will be international friendlies. So there will be no games, no videos. So we'd enjoy a little bit of time off. I've got Roman, who's without doubt the best representative from La Liga Lowdown. So much better than you and Paco. And Martin. Been a good week, Martin.
Yeah, it has been a good week. Yeah, good win for Arsenal last night, through to the round of 16 in the Europa League and playing the mighty Olympiacos again.
How nervous was you when they were 2-1 down?
Oh, so nervous. It's just typical Arsenal to dominate games and just lose due to sloppy defensive errors. But anyway, we're here to talk about La Liga, and yeah, we've been flying in recent weeks. So I'm delighted to see that, and I'm hoping that we can keep it going this weekend. It's a very difficult round of fixtures, I believe. There's some really tricky games, but I found a few that I like. I found a few tips that I like the look of, but I'm not going to go too wild this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, if you can go with conviction, and by the way, if this is your first time of subscribing, then please get yourself in the chat and say hello. Also, just underneath the links is a link to take you over to written content. That will be by Martin or by Alex or by Tam, but every other sport that we cover here on SBR is accompanied by an article. So get yourself over there and get your cup of tea, get your biscuit and have a good read. Roman, talk to me about this runaway train that was Atletico Madrid.
I mean, it's still running away.
Running away.
It's still kind of far away. I mean, this is normal. At some stage, you have to start dropping points. You were right, but you were predicting it way too soon. I think you had to wait a bit more. It's happening now. And we'll see if it goes on for long or Atletico are capable of stopping this from being dramatic, because they had such a big gap. It looked all so easy for them. And now suddenly they see how Real Madrid, Barcelona, Sevilla, they're all catching up. And it looks way more dangerous. But I think Atletico, not yet. Will take a while, I think, to get back into their usual form. But I think they'll find it. And they still are the favorites for me to win the league.
I tell you what, though, myself included, a little bit of humble pie, because Barcelona are coming on strong, Martin.
Yeah, they really are. I would be surprised if they were to win the league, given the problems they have. Obviously, it would be a fantastic.
I think we'd love to see it as well, wouldn't we?
Yeah, it would be great. It would be great. I know. I think of the three teams, they play the best football and they show the most ambition. They're the most fun to watch. So, given the players that have left and the financial situation, it would be an amazing achievement for them if they could win it. I still think there's going to be a bit of inconsistency from them towards the end of the season. I do think the two Madrid clubs look a bit stronger, but they're always in with a chance with the attackers they've got. You can never write them off. If Atletico keep dropping points, then yeah, Barcelona will be right in the mix. And obviously didn't work out for them in the Champions League, but still going great guns in La Liga, dropping a few points, but yeah, looking strong. Got a good chance against Sevilla this weekend, I think.
Yeah,
Not quite sure how that one's going to pan out, but yeah, I'm looking forward to breaking that one down with you guys too.
Okay, welcome, Ewan. First time of catching us live in the chat. The big thing I like, though, Roman, is that I'd love to see Messi still be top scorer because everyone was writing him off. And secondly, it will put that Suarez geezer right to sleep, because he was told, obviously, that he was too slow. He was over. It was just like finished with the game. I love that Barcelona then go and win the game, win the title, and Messi is the hero.
I mean, if Barcelona do win the title, which for me is still very unlikely, Messi will definitely be the hero of that, because I don't see any other player leading Barcelona to the title apart from Leo Messi, who every year there's always the comments whether he's too old, he's getting slower, he can't score, blah, 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 blah. Messi is still the best.
Exactly. Blah, blah,
Messi's
blah.
still the best at the moment for me, and I think he's making a difference as usual. He's the top scorer of the league already with 13 goals in 13 games, and he's the best player we have. So I think no one can doubt Leo Messi yet.
No, listen, I like Messi to go and get all the goals, all the points, and pick up the winner's medal at the end. Talking of winners' medals, Esteban, put up our records, please, because I'm so proud of this. Look at that. I'm going to go straight to the bottom. Total, minus 1.32. Remember, we was in the early 20s. Parlay, we asked him to pick up. Obviously, I helped with the plus 250 last week. Flash at plus 250. La Liga Lowdown at minus 9.16. But that's all Paco and Ewan. Nothing to do with Roman. And Martin going well. Losing week last week as well, but I think he lost like 0.15 of a unit. Plus 11.62. Well done, Martin, because I tell you what, you are showing us the way to go. Okay, Esteban, get that off. Let's get on to an absolute crack of a game. Levante plus 230, draw plus 230, and Athletic Club plus 145, Roman.
It's a game with two teams that are in great form, in great shape at the moment. I think that's why it's going to be a difficult game to predict, because we know they can play good football. They're both coincided already in the Copa del Rey recently. They had a 1-1 draw in the first leg, and they're going to play again next week on the 4th of March. It's going to be the second leg, so we'll find out who wins. But first, there's this kind of warm-up game between both sides in La Liga, and we know that Levante especially is looking really good, because they got that win and draw against Atletico Madrid consecutively. And I mean, that has to give them a lot of credit for that, because we know that Atletico are a tough side to even win. And they'd only lost one game before that. And now the Levante are the second team to actually manage to get 3 points against them. But it's true that Morales apparently will get to rest for this game. I think he will play further on, but apparently he won't be a starter. And we all know how important he has been for Levante. I think Paco Lopez is probably saving him for that Copa del Rey game, also against Athletic Club, as I mentioned before. And then there's also the goalkeeper debate for Levante, where Cárdenas, the youngster, he played against Atletico Madrid the other day. He was fantastic. He was one of the key players that allowed Levante to get the 3 points against Atletico Madrid. But I guess that's one of those good dilemmas you have, because you have to choose between two really good goalkeepers. But at the same time, Athletic Club worries me a lot, because they're so strong in those counter-attacks. They've changed so much with Marcelino. They look nothing like that boring side we used to see a few months back. And so that's why I'm really not sure which way to go. It is a home game for Levante, but I just see Athletic capable of scoring goals, so it could even be a draw, you know? It's hard to say.
No, listen, I don't think if you go with one of these two sides to win, I think you're having a massive guess up. I think you go with goals. I've gone with the Alex Classic. Marcus in the chat says both teams to score. Cannot go against that. Baz says Esteban's on fire. Esteban is the studio producer. There's no delay in the graphics. Baz, it's his job. Do you congratulate the postman when he gives you your letters? No, you don't. So we just take it for granted that Esteban does what he does. Both teams to score, Martin. I think he looks nailed on.
Oh, yeah, Esteban's a legend. Good, Esteban. Thank you. But, yeah, I'm going for both teams to score too for this one. Levante are in excellent form. There was that 1-0 defeat to Osasuna a couple of weeks ago, which might set alarm bells ringing. But otherwise, they've been fantastic. Just had a couple of very, very strong results against Atletico Madrid. Taking 4 points from home and away against them is just phenomenal, really. Yeah, I can see the need to rest players for this one with a bigger game around the corner. But I think you want to be building up momentum. And I think they're in with a chance in this game. Athletic Bilbao have dominated the head-to-heads. They've won the last 4 meetings with Levante. So especially now that they're improving as well under Marcelino, they're going to be in with a really good chance too. It's just going to be a fascinating game between two strong teams that are both in excellent form. I'm going for both teams to score. Athletic Bilbao haven't failed to score in a long time. So, yeah, both teams to score is really good to me.
Yeah, and I went with Alex Classic and couldn't believe that someone was hanging plus 135. So that tells me that I'm looking forward to goals. I just don't want to complicate it. No, I don't even think about who's going to win. If someone goes 1-1 at half time, it'd be nice. Someone goes and gets the winner, or maybe just 2-2, 3-3. It could be a crazy game. Next game, wow. Now this was a game, Martin, that I thought to myself, yeah, home win. And then I thought, Huesca are now attacking, maybe both teams to score. Then I thought, draw, Martin. It's Eibar at plus 120, draw plus 230, and Huesca at plus 275. Huesca are a great value at 275, but Eibar have turned a corner.
Yeah, this is a really difficult game from a betting perspective. I think it'll be an interesting game in a relegation 6-pointer, but difficult. Eibar have the worst home record in the league. Huesca have the worst away record in the league. It's actually copy and paste. It's they each have 1 win, 5 draws, and 6 defeats. And Huesca seem to concede more goals, but Eibar keep it pretty tight at home, so who knows what's going to happen in this one. There's going to be a real hard-fought game, I think. Maybe unders on total goals I can see this being quite a tense, tight clash, but doesn't really interest me from a betting perspective. I have to pass this one.
Yeah, there's no problem with passing. We've always said that over the years. Now, Eibar versus Huesca, do we see 1-1 or a 1-0, Roman?
I mean, both outcomes are very likely because it's really a final for both sides. As Martin said, it's going to be a clash where there's going to be a lot of intensity. Both teams are desperate for these points. Huesca don't have many more opportunities to jump out from that bottom spot they have, and this would be a great moment for them to actually win and get out of the last position for a long, long time. I trusted Huesca at the beginning of the season. I thought they could maybe learn from the mistakes in the previous season where they had already got relegated, but they proved me wrong. I'm going to give them a last chance, and I think they could get a good result out of this game because they have the better momentum also at the moment. They got that really important win against Granada the other match day, and I'm really worried about Eibar, which are in a really negative spiral. They just don't seem to find those 3 points anywhere because they haven't won in the last 7 games in La Liga, which is also quite preoccupying for Eibar's case. So I think that Huesca could get something out of this, but I would understand if people have doubts and consider a draw or a really close result. Eibar win could also happen,
Yeah, Eibar have turned the corner with their performances, but they haven't turned their performances into points. I mean, they've been a little bit more positive. We know that at home, they press high up. That obviously could play into Huesca's hands of hitting them on the break. If they break through that midfield, they are gunning down on that Eibar defence. So, yeah, it's a tricky old game. Next game, Roman, it's the biggest game in European leagues. It's Sevilla at plus 230, draw plus 270, and Barcelona at plus 120. You can get around plus 125. You know that I love Sevilla. I see Barcelona as probably the favourites in this game, and a very tight game at that.
Another one which is really hard to tell, and it's also another game which coincides with the Copa del Rey legs because they're also playing next week again against each other. And we saw that in the previous game from the Copa del Rey. Sevilla were the dominant side because of the result, mainly because they got the 2 goals. They were more efficient towards goal. Overall, Barca weren't too bad in that game against Sevilla. They had their chances. They just didn't convert them into goals. And the thing is that Barca really struggle against the stronger sides, and it's something that really hasn't changed in any game, and they've lost most of the important games against Sevilla, against Madrid, etc. They really struggle against the strong sides, and Sevilla, we know that now at the moment they are one of the stronger sides. It's true that they won't have Ocampos. He's still injured. He's an important setback because he's possibly the best or one of the best players Lopetegui has in the squad. He won't be there. And the good news for Barca, on the other hand, is that Araujo could be back, and I would really love to see him paired with Piqué, who's also back from his injury. Those 2 centre-backs, even though they tend to play as right centre-backs, I would still love to see them playing together rather than having Lenglet or Umtiti or whoever on the left, which is just not reliable at all. And I kind of see a low-scoring game here, honestly. I don't think we'll see too many goals, especially from Barcelona. They just don't tend to score many goals against stronger sides, so I don't think they'll get more than 1 or 2 goals.
Yeah, I look at this game, and if I'm Ronald Koeman, I say, right, we don't want to be high up the pitch for our defenders. We want to sit back. We want to stretch the game. We want to get our playmakers as much space on the ball, because the thing about Sevilla is they are the most compact side in Spain for me, obviously outside Atletico Madrid, but then Atletico Madrid don't have nothing up top. So, yeah, it's a tough game, Martin, to pick this one. I mean, Barcelona at 125, I definitely see this being a very, very tight game.
Yeah, I think this is a really difficult game. Sevilla really do seem to have Barcelona's measure recently. They drew both games last season, but beat them 2-0 in Copa del Rey quite recently, just earlier this month. I agree. I think they're a really solid side. That's why I was just so surprised by their defeat to Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League. Couldn't believe it when they conceded 3 goals when they've been so solid recently. And yeah, Campos is obviously a big miss. He's a terrific player. But I love that they can just bring in Papu Gomez, who was Atalanta's best player. And Atalanta are one of the most exciting attacking teams in the world. I know it's going to take him a little bit of time to acclimatise, and he was on the bench on Monday. But I still think they've got some really fantastic options in attack. So I don't really want to oppose Sevilla, but that 3-2 defeat to Borussia Dortmund is still just setting a few alarm bells ringing for me. So I left the game in the end. I would probably, maybe both teams to score or something like that. Both teams to score at under 4.5 goals would be a way that I might go for it. But yeah, I can't work the outrights out, so I'm leaving it.
Yeah, maybe draw half-time is probably the way to go, and then just forget the second half, or have most goals scored in the second half, but make sure you have a little bit of a saver on the unders or even 0-0. Now, there's 38 of you with the thumbs up, 84. That's 41.5%, 42%. So I need more. I need to get over that 50. So please, I know you're enjoying the show, but press the thumbs up because I know that YouTube love that. Moving on. I'm going to ask the chat. It's like a little bit of me singing at a festival, and then I stop singing and I let the crowd sing because it's Alaves at plus 185, Martin. Draw plus 200. Osasuna at plus 210. When the draw's near 200, exactly. Martin, draw for me.
Yeah, I can see why you would go for a draw. These teams do both seem quite evenly matched to me. I would say that Osasuna have been in better form. As I mentioned earlier, they beat Levante on the road. They have been pretty good at beating the teams around them recently. I think I remember they beat Eibar a couple of weeks ago. There's no shame in losing to Sevilla last time out, whereas Alaves have just been leaking goals. I know they've come up against good opposition in Real Sociedad and Barcelona, but there's got to be concerns over their defence and the way they're sliding down the table. It's another big game, really. You think Osasuna are looking good in 13th place, but they're only 4 points above the relegation zone. It's so tight down there. These teams are going to be fighting for everything. I don't know. Could be another draw. Could be another hard-fought game. As I say, this card of fixtures is just full of horrible looking games between evenly matched teams, and it's very difficult to predict what's going to happen. So I've only got a few tips for this one, and it's not one of this game.
Yeah, mine is. I've gone draw. I'm not sitting on no fence. Listen, mathematically, it's like an algorithm. You get a draw around 200. I don't even think. I don't care. I'm going with the draw,
exactly
Roman.
Sitting on the fence. That's exactly what a draw is.
No, it's not. The draw is just the same as picking a win or on a home or away. It's a selection. Too many people think that sitting on the fence. No, it's a firm selection, Roman.
It is a selection because it takes the risks, of course, and you can get it right, you can get it wrong. And a draw could be very likely. I mean, it's two sides which, like the game before we were talking about before with the Eibar and Huesca, two teams which really need the win, are going to fight and give everything they have. But I do see Osasuna slightly better, as Martin said. I prefer them at the moment. They're more recognizable now than they were at the start of the season when they were really struggling. Now they're getting some decent results. They're playing better football. I think that 2-0 defeat against Sevilla didn't really suggest how Osasuna were actually playing, because they deserved a bit more, I think. And on the other hand, Alaves are going downwards since they brought in the new manager, Abelardo. Things have been looking much worse. I really didn't understand why they got rid of Pablo Machin and the moment they did. Maybe they thought it was the right moment to find a reaction, but the team wasn't doing so bad with Pablo Machin at that stage, and I was quite surprised. It's true that Abelardo had already been in Alaves years back, and he'd done a great job. But of course, second time is never easy, and now he's really feeling it. When he came, his debut was a 5-0 defeat against Almeria in the Copa del Rey, and he's had really tough defeats in La Liga too. So at the moment, the perfect bet for me would be like some Osasuna double chance or maybe draw no bet, but I don't know if he'll get a good value on that. So I wouldn't take any risks.
Listen, I think it's going to be a really tight game. So a little bit like Atletico Madrid versus Chelsea the other day. It was at plus 190, 195 for the draw. 0-0 half time. Go with half time draw and go with draw overall. And if you get it half time and you get beat, you're obviously going to get your money. Harry says that having the draw is firmly sitting on the fence. How can a firm selection ever be sitting on the fence? Okay, move on, because it's Getafe at plus 165, Roman, draw plus 210, and Valencia at plus 230. Now, Getafe, they put their best foot forward, they win this, and plus 165 is an absolute gift. Valencia, try and get them right if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Valencia are very unpredictable, but at the moment I think Getafe are predictable in a bad way because they've been getting bad results. So I don't really trust them at all. I would actually rather go for Valencia in this game than I would with Getafe. It's actually two teams that last season were fighting for Europe, and just suddenly there they are trying to avoid relegation. That's quite impressive how things can really change in such a short period of time. But especially with Getafe, because we know that they were a very reliable side for so many seasons, and they've lost that defensive toughness they had. They don't seem capable of stopping teams from scoring goals, which was one of the key factors that made Getafe a very special and unique side, whereas now any team can really score against them. And also, I think Bordalas is really in the tightrope at the moment. 4 defeats in a row in La Liga for Getafe, and his job could really be on the line. So I just can't trust Getafe. And because we know that Valencia is so unpredictable, I can't really trust them either, even though I favor them. So another game where I just wouldn't take any risks.
No, but listen, it is one of them weeks in La Liga. This is why earlier on in the year, and this is how we got to 25 units down, was that we were forcing the issue. I think we're getting to the stage now where, listen, it's okay to pass. It's not a problem at all. And this is a train that you're allergic to, Martin.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere near Valencia. No chance. They're totally unpredictable because it's just so rare to have half a team full of good players and half a team full of unproven players. You just don't normally see that, and there's no real cohesion to them. Sometimes the stars can really turn it on and they get better results than you expect, and sometimes that lack of balance in the team just is brutally exposed. Case in point, they beat Celta Vigo last weekend, and they've had a few decent results recently. I reckon they'll be safe, but something really needs to be done about the direction of that club. I can't really understand what's going on with Getafe because they were so solid defensively a couple of seasons ago. Then the start of last season, they were solid defensively again, but they were much better going forward. And they have the rotation of the strikers with Angel Rodriguez, with Chucho Hernandez, with Jean Mata coming off the bench. None of them are scoring. It's just worrying. They've gone 5 games now without a goal. It's looking like a pretty grim time to be a Getafe fan. So, yeah, I would be sort of leaning towards Valencia here, but I can't bet on Valencia, so pass.
No. Left back, Valencia. Gaia,
quality player.
Right, Roman?
Yeah, he's a fantastic player. I mean,
why is he not playing for one of the top 3? I've not seen a better left back in the league.
He is very committed to Valencia. He's really been there for a long time, and I guess he really loves the club and wants to try and help it get past its worst time. But it is surprising because he's been linked to Barcelona, he's been linked to important clubs, but he's never ever left. And by the way, I was reading that one of our spectators was saying that maybe we could bet on yellow cards, and it is not a bad option because there's been a really tough rivalry between
Who was that?
Who
said that, Roman?
Let me see.
Is it Harry?
I can find it. It was Randy Marsh.
Okay, no worries.
And I think that's a quite decent bet because it's a very intense game. Bordalas really had a bad relationship with the previous manager, I think it was Marcelino in Valencia. And since then, it's been a really intense game between both sides. So that could be something to look into.
Okay, a little bit of... so basically, it's a game we're going to have to leave alone because the away side could be absolutely anything. And if Getafe come back to form like they've shown over the last 18 months, but the last 9 of them 18 months, they've been absolutely shocking. Ud says, Flash, please educate about Asian 0.5 and minus 0.5. Martin, can you educate, please?
Yeah, so if you're going for minus 0.5, it's just the same. They need to win by a clear goal. Then you get paid out. If it's plus 0.5, it's the same as double chance. Yeah. So you win if they win or draw, but otherwise you lose.
Okay, Lil Ice says, "What's up? What's up?" Okay, I've been waiting to do that for a yonk. So just a little flashback then. Okay, next game. I've got to come to you, Martin. Celta, minus 115. Draw, plus 275. Valladolid, plus 350. Let's talk about Celta and not mention Aspas.
I can't do it. It's all I've got to say, really. Celta Vigo are playing.
He is the one. He is coming over the hill leading his troops.
He's Celta. He's a hero. As soon as he's back in the team, he wasn't injured. He was just suspended in the last game. So
he's back this week, yeah.
He's back this week, and he should be fresh. He should be raring to go. Valladolid have not been very good defensively this season. Injury problems, obviously, has forced them to adopt a different approach. But yeah, I think with Iago Aspas in the team, they should be far too strong for Valladolid in this game. So home win all the way for me. This is one of my favourite bets of the weekend.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I did look at it. I may have done it. I can't really remember, to be honest. Listen, I can't go anywhere near Valladolid because they've got a midfielder called Arquer. How he's a professional footballer, I do not know. And I bet against Valladolid, and he scored. Can you believe that, Roman?
He's not that bad. I think he's having a poor season.
He's one of them players.
He came from a really tough injury.
Yeah, but the way he struts around and thinks he's so much better than he really is, he's like a poor man's Redondo.
That's a good one. Well, talking about the game, Alcaraz aside, I think obviously Celta are the favourites for this game, although it has to be said that they've kind of lost that momentum they had at the beginning when Coudet came in as a manager. All that momentum has kind of dissipated, but they're still getting good results now and then, although it really depends on Iago Aspas in the end. If he's there, he's fresh, he's in good form, then Celta's chances of winning are way higher. And on the other hand, we know that Valladolid is performing really, really poorly. They haven't won in the last 7 games. So on one hand, you think they're just such a bad side, they're going to lose definitely. But on the other hand, you think at some point they're going to have to get points. They're going to have to win games, and this might be an opportunity for them. But obviously, Celta, I think, are the favorite team. I don't know if I would be so convinced as Martin is for them to win, because also let's not forget that Nolito sanctioned. He's not as like Iago Aspas, of course, but he's still an important guy in attack, taking into account that Santi Mina, for me, isn't doing too well. And the good news for Celta is that they're going to get their main goalkeeper back, Rubén Blanco, because he was sent off the previous game, but the red card has been withdrawn, so he will be playing, and that's definitely important for Coudet. So overall, Celta de Vigo are the favorites for this game. You take your risks if you want to.
Yeah, having Blanco back, because he's definitely all white.
The other thing I would say is... The thing
it took a while, Martin. It took a while just to get through to the Spanish interpretation then.
Getting the party started with some Friday humour. The other thing I was just going to add about Celta de Vigo is they never seem to draw at home. They either win or lose. They sort of go for broke. So
they dominate this game, though, Martin, surely.
That's why I've gone for them.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And anyway, listen, plus 12 units. If you're going for them, then I think we should be going for them as well, because... you're nobody's fool, that is for sure. Let's move on, because this is a game that I like. It's Cadiz, pinning the balloon at plus 300. Roman, draw plus 240. Betis plus 110. Thank you very much. Away win. Jog on, Roman.
That's what you should go for, I guess. But keep in mind, Betis have some important players which are injured. For example, Borja Iglesias, who's finding his form, scoring goals. He's injured. Fekir, he's also injured. Of course, he hasn't been as great as we all expected him to be at Betis, but he still is a decent player. And then Bartra in that already weak in defense. Without Bartra, it's even weaker, I'd say. So he's out. And of course, William Carvalho, he got a red card in the previous game. So 4 players, which I think are pretty important and mostly starters. Well, Borja Iglesias, not so much, but... they could be starters perfectly for Pellegrini, and they won't be available. But it is true that Betis are in ascendant form. They're playing better. They look much more like a Pellegrini side than they were months back. We were quite worried which way they were going. But in front, they do have Cadiz, who is terrible. Against Barcelona, they were super lucky to get a draw, in my opinion. It should have been the 5th defeat in a row for them. That penalty, I guess, could have been called a penalty, but it was right at the end. They didn't really generate much in attack. There's supposed to be a decent counter-attack inside, and I think they could do a bit more damage against a team like Betis. But still, I think Betis are the stronger team, and despite all the setbacks they have in terms of injuries, they should be capable of taking the 3 points home.
Yeah, Martin, away win at plus money, that would do.
Yeah, it's just the injuries that have put me off this. I would love to bet on Real Betis in this game if they were at full strength. They've been in terrific form recently, won twice on the bounce against good opposition in Villareal and Getafe. He seems to have got the right balance, but I think for a club of their stature, losing those players is, as soon as I saw that Fekir's out and Borja Iglesias is out, I think that really deprives them of attacking thrust. I know Canales is playing, but yeah, I still think Fekir's a very good player, despite he's inconsistent. His form hasn't been fantastic. But I've seen him have a few really good games this year, and I think he'll be a miss. So with those injury issues, I can't really bet on them to beat a team that just drew with Barcelona. So I am tempted, but I'm going to leave.
They had 25 men behind the ball from the first minute, and Barcelona should have been a little bit more creative, to be honest. But I know that it's so difficult to break down, and they got away with murder. Remember, we're going to need a two-team parlay, so if you're in the chat and you've got like a couple that you'd like to put forward, then make sure you put them forward. At the moment, it's looking like Celta is our number one choice. Next game, Granada plus 100, Martin. Draw plus 225, Elche plus 350. I'm not complicating this. It's now time to get back on that Granada train. I'm happy. I think that they're starting to show the team that we loved being with at home last season. So plus 100, it's in my bag.
Yeah, I really want to put it in my bag as well. I just don't think Granada play well after having a Europa League game in midweek. It just seems to affect their results. It's happened consistently throughout the season. A team that hasn't been in La Liga for too long did really well, reasonably small squad, get into Europe, and they just don't really seem to have the resources to compete on both fronts. They're doing really well in the Europa League. You know, they just knocked out Napoli. It's a fantastic achievement, but I just worry that fatigue will be an issue for them, and a team that's fighting for their lives like Elche could nick a draw here. So broken record, but pass again.
Roman, put some meat on the bone, because my only question mark was squad size. Otherwise, Granada are good things at plus 100.
I'm sorry, but I'm not really convinced either for this game, because first of all, I think Elche have the slightly better momentum with the new manager coming in. It's true they just lost against Barcelona midweek, but they did get that important win against Eibar, which is a side they had to win. And I think they still might have a bit more of that momentum left with Fran Escribá, who's just come on board in the team. And as Martin said, Granada, coming from that Europa League game, there's fatigue. I've seen that there's lots of injuries, lots of rotations are very likely for this game. An important player such as Darwin Machís, he got apparently injured in the warm-up before the Napoli game, and we don't know if he'll be available, and he's one of the important guys in attack. And I'm not convinced, because also Granada, let's not forget, they lost against Huesca that game. They struggle again with those midweek games, then playing in the weekend again. And I just don't have that trust to say, okay, Granada's going to win. In normal conditions, without Europa League, I would no doubt go for Granada. This would be an easy game, but this is just a match week or a match day where things are looking more difficult than usual.
Okay, thanks for that. Absolutely killed there, Roman. Okay, listen, the next game would have been the best game of the weekend if it wasn't for Sevilla versus Barcelona. It's Villareal at plus 230, Roman. Draw plus 205, and Atletico at plus 150. No one's going to be surprised if they miss this game and see it's a 1-1 draw.
Absolutely. I mean, the first leg between both of these teams, I was expecting a very exciting and entertaining game, but in the end we got a very dull draw between both sides. As a matter of fact, the Villareal are the new kings of draws this season in La Liga with 13 already, which is a pretty large number at this stage of the season, and they haven't won any games in the last 6. It's true they did really well in Europa League, they got their results, but in the end it really comes down to Gerard Moreno. They have a very important dependence to this guy, and fortunately for them, he should be available for this game. He scored 2 goals on Thursday to take them through to the next round of the Europa League. But of course, they will have that fatigue, maybe rotations will come in, although that could also apply to Atletico de Madrid, because they had, of course, a Champions League match. And as we were saying before, Atletico don't look as reliable as before. In another stage of the season, I might have said, yes, let's go for Atletico once again. But I'm just not convinced this moment. So a draw is very, very likely. And also I've read that AS, which is a Spanish newspaper, said that Luis Suarez could be resting for this game. because of course he's had lots of minutes. He's playing basically every single minute or every single game, and this could be the chance for Moussa Dembélé to get his first start and his first important minute.
He'll be more dangerous maybe than a tired Suarez.
Yeah. Well, it depends on what he can do at Atletico, because we've only seen him 24 minutes on the field between two games. So, I mean, we can't really say much. And let's not forget that Atletico Madrid has a very particular style, which isn't easy for strikers to adapt to. And we have to see what Moussa Dembélé is, if he's a good striker or maybe he'll just become a flop and not be useful for El Cholo. So I think that's a question mark that could be resolved this game if he starts, and hopefully he'll be a great player. He's done well in his previous clubs, he should, but you never know, of course.
Okay, before I go to Martin and get his thoughts on the game, can you get us the latest on Diego Costa?
I mean, there's not really any news on Diego Costa. It's like it just kind of disappeared. I mean, not linked to any clubs. I don't know really what's happened with him. I think he left to Brazil and just kind of, I don't know what he's doing.
On holiday?
Huh?
He's gone on holiday.
No, at the beginning they said it was like from family reasons or whatever, but that was a while ago, and since then I haven't heard anything. I'll have another look now, but honestly, I think Diego Costa's just like out of the map.
He's so much getting hammered on the beach. He is so much. Can you imagine? Oh, okay. Villareal versus Atletico. You love Atletico and under 4.5. Are you going with it again, Martin?
Yeah, I definitely don't miss Diego Costa. I think world football is a better place without him playing. But yeah, Atletico have had some terrific strikers over the years. If you just look at the players, they've got Joao Felix now. He was obviously a very good player for them. Sergio Aguero, Fernando Torres. They always have world-class strikers. Falcao was tearing it up for Atletico for years. Sorry?
He was great. Sorry, I was just saying.
Yeah, he was. They've just they always seem to have world-class strikers that are very efficient in front of goal, which is perfect for them because they spend most of the game defending and then they take their chances. I think Dembele could do well there. Yeah, it will take him a while to adapt to the system, but he's got the pace, he's got the movement, he's got the finishing ability. He's definitely a decent backup for Suarez anyway if he does play. But yeah, I'm a bit nervous about the sheer volume of games that Villareal draw. They're also quite tough. They're quite tenacious. And they've got strikers that can finish, which is crucial to getting you points in any game. So for that reason, I'm not betting on Atletico to win, but I'm going to go for Atletico draw, no bet. Don't see them losing this game. I'd say it's probably 50-50 for me if they win or draw. So I feel like the worst I'm going to do is get my money back. I think they can't afford to keep losing ground in this title race. And I think Simeone's going to have them quite fired up for this game. So yeah, Atletico draw, no bet for me. I'll be putting that in parlays too.
And it's weird that you say losing ground when they're 3 points clear and a game in hand, but I get it because they were 10 points clear just a few weeks ago. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a game where maybe you could look and maybe go Villareal draw. So Villareal at half-time, draw full-time, or Villareal to score first. I fancy Villareal come out the traps. Recent weeks show that they come out, they score, take their foot off the gas, and then get done. So, yeah, I mean, it's a tricky old game. Now, the bottom game, I cannot believe this price. Martin, it's Madrid at -110, draw plus 300, and Sociedad at plus 320. Someone in this studio said that Madrid would win at Atalanta. Obviously, they were helped by playing against 10 men, but they got 10 players out. Don't knock Madrid.
Yeah, never knock Madrid. I went for them draw no bet at plus 100 and cashed in. You can't knock Madrid. I know Atalanta were in good form in Serie A, but it's not the same. They're still got world-class players that know how to get the job done in Europe, which is why I went for them. They've still got Casemiro, Modric and Kroos in midfield. They're missing a lot of key players, though. That's why I don't really like them for this one. I'm not saying they're going to lose. I'm just saying I don't really want to be betting on them when Ramos is out, both fullbacks are out, Benzema's out, the front three's not looking particularly dynamic at the moment. Half their teams are Arsenal or Tottenham. I just think, yeah, avoid it. I don't know what you're going to get from Real Sociedad either.
That's the problem.
They're looking a bit inconsistent. Yeah, I would be leaning towards giving them a +1 Asian handicap, but then, this is the team that got murdered by Man United. Yeah, don't like the look of this game really. I would advise. I'm going to watch it. It's going to be an interesting game, but yeah, maybe unders on total goals or something. But yeah, not really liking the look of this one.
Roman, it could almost be a trap in this Madrid prize, because if it weren't for Sociedad hitting a brick wall over the last couple of weeks, they were probably the form team outside of maybe Sevilla and Barcelona in La Liga Primera. Now, all of a sudden, we're second guessing, saying, can we go with both teams to score? That would probably be the only way you'd look at this game if you're outside of Madrid.
I mean, it's hard to say again, because as Martin was saying, Madrid don't look as great offensively. Benzema, as he mentioned, could be out for this game. He didn't train with the team, so he's doubtful, and we know that he's definitely the important guy in those attacking positions for the club. Although both teams are on a decent run at the moment, Real Madrid, despite all the injuries, somehow are getting good results. They're winning their games. They're getting 3 points, and catching up with Atletico Madrid. And on the other hand, Real Sociedad have won their last 3 games in La Liga, so they're starting to find better form than they were having a month or so back, where they were just very regular. Now they look more like themselves. Although I was quite surprised to see that Real Sociedad played a very strong lineup against Manchester United the other night in the Europa League, taking into account that the first leg had been 4-0 and the options were just so scarce. I didn't understand why he played Oyarzabal, Isak, Porto, all the good guys were there. So I was quite impressed. Of course, they have to prove to the fans that they want to win, etc. But you could make some rotations, leave of some of those players, and keep in mind that Real Madrid have a lot of injuries, a lot of problems, and you can maybe get those 3 points. So I'm not really sure which way it'll go. Not really sure either if we'll see goals, because in the last game between both sides, it was very, I'm not sure, I think it was 0-0 or 1-1 or something like that, which is also very low on goals. So at the moment, I just can't take any risks with this game either, and I just don't know which way it's going to go.
No, listen, I totally agree. Now, listen, I'm going to get the picks put up, but before I do, can you get me a prize, please, Martin, for Levante and Athletic Club, both teams to score, please? And then obviously I'll put that in the 2-team parlay with Celta straight win at -115.
Sorry,
Esteban,
what was the bet?
Levante and Athletic Club, both teams to score.
Oh yeah, I've got that. That's one of my tips. Is I got -116.
1-1 what?
6.
Okay, 115. Okay, Esteban, stick them picks up then, please. Yes, Levante, there you go. Both teams to score, -116. Celta Vigo, -114. Atletico Madrid, draw no bet, -140. It's a bit sparse. Look at this. Levante, both teams to score, -117. And Huesca, draw no bet at +165. Here we go. Betis, +105. Alaves draw, +200. Levante, Alex Classic at +135. And Granada at +110. Boys, are we in agreement? Obviously, I came up trumps last week and got us the +250 parlay that we go again with. Celta to win at -115. And Levante, both teams to score at -115. Roman?
I'll trust you guys. I mean, I told you it's a very tricky match day, and honestly, I wouldn't find a better pick than that, to be honest, at the moment. So I'd say go for that, yeah.
Martin, you're normally the man with the pin in the balloon.
Well, I'm happy with both of those, because those are both my
They are both your selections, and you are nearly 12 units up, so we should be bowing to you.
I can't go against it. Yeah, go for it.
Okay, that's our 2-team parlay. Celta to win at -115, and Levante, both teams to score at -115. Now, if you like this video, which I've really enjoyed for some reason, maybe it's the later start time and it feels like the middle of the day for me, please subscribe, press the button and ring the bell. Ring the bell means I'll notify you and you'll never miss any content again, because there's a surprise show next week. Serie A, 08:30 Eastern time. I'm assured that Tan will be on time, which it's like Halley's Comet if he is on time. Also, press the link in the description. That'll take you to articles right by over Martin or Tan or Alex. Also, every single sport that we cover here on SBR is accompanied by an article. They are so good. The editors are 24/7 here, so they'll always be updated, and you will be ahead of the game. 65 thumbs up, 101 watching. Well, don't take a mathematician to say that's 65%. You take care. Have a great weekend. Thanks, boys.
Bye.